Crisco, a name synonymous with baking, a pantry staple. For generations, this iconic brand held a place of trust in kitchens across America. It all began in 1909. Procter & Gamble, a company known for innovation, introduced Crisco as the first vegetable shortening. Housewives embraced it, baked goods rose higher, food tasted better. Crisco became a household name, a symbol of quality and reliability. Little did anyone know a storm was brewing. Robert Jones exuded success. Jones began to view Crisco's coffers as his personal piggy bank. Lavish parties, exotic vacations, rare art, his spending knew no bounds. Company funds meant for research and development, marketing and employee salaries were funneled into secret accounts. Jones justified his actions as investment in Crisco's future, but the truth was far more sinister. He was bleeding the company dry. The truth was about to come out and there was no stopping it. Section 4. Mountains of debt loans Crisco couldn't repay. Jones' insatiable appetite for wealth wasn't satisfied by embezzlement alone. To fuel his lavish spending and project an image of success, he plunged Crisco into a deep abyss of debt.
He secured massive loans, leveraging the company's reputation and promising unrealistic returns. Banks, blinded by Jones's charisma and Crisco's legacy, readily obliged.
Each loan was a gamble, a roll of the dice that pushed Crisco closer to the brink. The weight of these unsustainable debts became an anchor, dragging the company down. New product launches failed, marketing campaigns flopped. Crisco, once a market leader, was rapidly losing ground to competitors. The cracks were starting to show. Section 5. The House of Cards collapses. The unraveling. Sarah Miller's act of courage proved to be the catalyst. She shared the incriminating files with the authorities.
The news exploded like a bombshell. The media went into a frenzy, dissecting Jones's web of deceit. The stock market reacted instantly. Crisco's shares plummeted, wiping out billions in market value. Investors panicked, employees felt betrayed. The iconic brand was tarnished, its reputation in tatters.
The walls were closing in on Robert Jones. He was swiftly removed as CEO and arrested. The man who once epitomized success was now a symbol of corporate greed and corruption. His legacy forever tainted. The company he had driven into the ground was now fighting for survival. Section 6. Justice served, the aftermath and lessons learned. The collapse of Crisco sent shockwaves throughout the corporate world. The stock market collapsed and Crisco's attempt to start a bank failed miserably. Everyone lost their pensions as they were heavily invested in Crisco's stock.
Jones's trial became a media spectacle. The CEO, however, walked away with very little jail time.
The corporation is now in crippling debt due to widespread embezzlement by the workers. Corruption was rampant, with significant investments in foreign countries like China, Saudi Arabia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Thailand. Thousands of Crisco employees lost their jobs. Investors lost their savings. The brand, once synonymous with trust, struggled to regain its footing.
The Crisco scandal stands as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most iconic brands can fall victim to corporate greed. It underscores the need for transparency, accountability, and ethical leadership at all levels of an organization.
The Crisco scandal caused a massive stock market collapse. Investors lost billions and the financial markets were in turmoil. The ripple effects were felt globally, with many economies suffering due to the interconnected nature of modern finance. In a desperate attempt to recover, Crisco tried to start a bank. The company poured its remaining resources into this last-ditch effort, hoping to regain some semblance of stability. However, this venture failed spectacularly, further deepening the financial crisis. The new bank, hastily assembled and poorly managed, couldn't withstand the mounting pressure. As it crumbled, it took with it the last shreds of confidence that investors and the public had in Crisco. The bank's failure added to the public's distrust in financial institutions. People began to withdraw their savings, fearing another collapse. The financial sector, already reeling from the initial scandal, faced an unprecedented crisis of confidence. In the end, Crisco's final gamble didn't just fail. It exacerbated the situation, leaving a legacy of mistrust and financial instability. One of the most tragic outcomes of the Crisco scandal was the loss of pensions. Many employees and retirees found their life savings wiped out as their pensions were heavily invested in Crisco's stock. The financial security of countless families was destroyed. Despite the massive financial fraud, the CEO of Crisco managed to walk away with very little jail time. This outcome sparked outrage and highlighted the disparities in the justice system when it comes to white-collar crime. Many questioned how someone responsible for such widespread devastation could face so few consequences. The scandal served as a glaring example of how economic power can influence legal outcomes, leaving many to wonder if true justice was ever served. Crisco is now in crippling debt, largely due to the embezzlement by its workers. Corruption was rampant within the company, with significant investments in foreign countries like China, Saudi Arabia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Thailand. These investments were often poorly managed and contributed to the company's downfall. The international reach of Crisco's financial missteps had far-reaching implications. In China, projects stalled, leaving local workers unpaid. In Saudi Arabia, incomplete ventures turned into ghost towns. Hong Kong's regulatory bodies launched investigations that further tarnished Crisco's reputation. Taiwan and Thailand saw similar fallout, with local economies taking hits from the failed investments. The global scale of Crisco's corruption and mismanagement not only deepened its own financial woes, but also brought hardship to countless communities across the world. The ripple effects of Crisco's international downfall serve as a stark reminder of the interconnected nature of today's global economy and the devastating impact of corporate greed and mismanagement. As Crisco struggled to stay afloat, the company's name became synonymous with failure and corruption, a cautionary tale for businesses worldwide. While Crisco's international downfall made headlines, the untold stories of its victims are perhaps the most heartbreaking. In China, local workers who once believed in the promise of stable employment were left unpaid, struggling to make ends meet. Families were torn apart as breadwinners found themselves without work, their dreams shattered. In Saudi Arabia, incomplete ventures turned once thriving communities into ghost towns. Small businesses that had relied on Crisco's projects for their livelihood were forced to shut down, leaving entire neighborhoods in desolation. In Hong Kong, the regulatory investigations not only tarnished Crisco's reputation but also caused a ripple effect, impacting local businesses and employees. The uncertainty and fear of financial instability loomed large, affecting the mental health and well-being of countless individuals. Taiwan and Thailand experienced similar fallout. Local economies took significant hits from Crisco's failed investments, leading to increased unemployment and economic hardship. Small towns and villages that had once been hopeful about new opportunities were left grappling with despair and uncertainty. These are the human stories behind Crisco's financial missteps. The lives disrupted, the dreams unfulfilled, and the communities left in ruins. As we reflect on Crisco's downfall, let us remember the real people who bore the brunt of corporate greed and mismanagement. Their stories are a poignant reminder of the far-reaching impact of business decisions and the importance of corporate responsibility.